Hi traders, just going to go over what I've done today for 2 or 3 minutes and then talk about my plan for tomorrow. Posted this in the room. I went long oil at 106.80 area here because we had a gap down over the weekend. We had this trend line coming across at the highs, so I bought this area here. Bought this. We broke up through this trend line. We came back to kiss it, and then I thought we would push up through this weekly pivot and potentially maybe into the latter half of the week go up to 110. But let me show you the 60-minute chart of what actually happened. So this is the daily chart of what actually happened. Let's just reflect on why I bought that 106.80, because I was basically buying yesterday's close and looking for this to run into this resistance at 109. We didn't quite get there, so I'm happy with 108.50. Let me just go down to the 60-minute chart. So this is where let me see. This is where I got in roughly here. Yeah, where this arrow is on this red line, 106.80ish, and yeah, it flapped around a lot, but eventually we put a hammer on the weekly pivot, and then we ran up the next hour to 108.50 and pretty much closed the day on 108.50. Okay, so 50 points short of my target, but I'm happy with that, as I'm sure you would be as well. But so a nice trend line breakout. I like the way that we held this major 106.80 area from yesterday's close, and convinced that this was had the potential to break up the way it was behaving around the weekly pivot, and so got a nice run. What would I do tomorrow? We've got invents tomorrow. Actually, let me just check that. No, we've not got invents tomorrow because of Labor Day yesterday. So we've actually got invents on Thursday. Okay, so tomorrow we've got beige book at the end of the day, and I think that should be red at 7 p.m. UK time, because I think the market will look to that beige book for any comments on tapering. In the meantime, we've got US trade balance at 130, CAD rates. 9:30 we've got UK services. So let's have a look at the pound, because the pound was very interesting today. Right, this is the pound US dollar 60-minute chart. I went long here. I called this in the room 105.52. Took it off at 106 because I like this I like this weekly pivot here. I like this fib level. Yeah, we had a nice run up yesterday, so that was a pullback I bought there. Nice move here, and I said on Monday conference call, if I saw the pound down here at the weekly pivot, I would buy it. It was just shy of that, but I still bought it and took it off at this resistance area here. So if we see 105.50 again tomorrow, this can just pull back to here. I would buy that. We've got services data tomorrow. Let's just see if we can break this 101.56. This is the pound US dollar on the daily chart. So nice hammer on Friday. Nice movement around the weekly pivot, and we've closed higher, topping tails, but I will still buy pullbacks. The 105.50 is a decent area of support here. We'll look to at least test 156 and possibly even break up to 157. You know, I'm still a pound bull, and I will keep buying bull pullbacks until that fails. If these topping tails start to come into effect and we close underneath 155, I will then start to look to get short, because we have this. Let me see. So I'm just going to grab my pen. We have this area here. that we're trading at the moment. So whichever way we break out of that is going to give us a long-term move. So if we break this weekly pivot, I'm going to get short and see if we can come down to these levels here. If we can break, I'm going to continue to buy pullbacks to see if we can come up to this level of resistance up here. Okay. On Monday I talked about the Aussie US. This is the daily Aussie US. I said if we closed above 90.50, I would be a buyer. Tomorrow I'm going to look for trying to just get above 90, 90.10. My stop can be 89.20. Close stop, because I think we may be in a position to break up. Because if we can continue to hold this 90 level and bump, I think another test of this trend line, and I think that will give. So we've got the potential for at least 92, and if we can break above 92, then hit 94, 95, here we come. This to me, this is one of my favourite setups. I like buying baselines of triangles to see if they can break up. Okay, so I like the pound US, I like the Aussie US, and let's now look at how the Dow has just closed. So let me just look at the Dow. So the Dow we've got this major support here. I've got the major 23.6% fibs, just narrowly closed above it. Obviously this is the first day of trading because Labor Day yesterday. So if there's the weekly pivot, 14,900. It's a seller's bar, but we are just above this level here. I'm going to stand aside another day because if we close because basically I think we've got a box here now. I think whichever way we come out of this box, so fib support underneath us, resistance at the top, whichever way we come out of that box, I would look to give me direction for the short term, short to medium term. So we break the weekly pivot, I would look for that to bust up and retest these areas here, break down here. I think we're coming to major support and possibly even 127 extension down here somewhere. Alright, so I'm standing aside the Dow for now. Obviously a lot of tension in the markets with Syria hanging over us, so let's just see how that works. Okay, oil we've talked about. Let's just look at where we're left with on the daily oil. I think this is still, if you're not in this is still, I've got invents in 2 days time. So if we can pull back to 108, I would be I would buy oil back at 108, and conscious that we got a lot of resistance there at 109, but I'd be prepared to put a stop in based on a 60-minute chart because that's the way I'm going to take it. If you are swing trading it, which I think is fine, you need to stop at least 106.40. So you're going to need a 140 point stop. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. Just look at a couple of other things. I've not commented on gold recently, which I think is a great shame because I think gold's had a really nice move. That was decent support down there at 12.85. We've hit this resistance level here at 14.25. If we close above 14.25, I'll then start buying pullbacks. But I think we could be running out of steam here, and I think if we come back to 13.42, I will be a buyer. Okay, so standing aside for gold short term, but I am interested. So that's all I'm going to talk about for now. So I want pull back in the Aussie US, I want to pull back in the pound US, and I think the charts warrant a buy in the oil if we see 108. Okay, please join me in the room tomorrow if you want details of that. Let me know. Otherwise, happy trading and see you at the next